Hi, welcome to 3D Leisure Home with me, Gail. Just going to do half an hour of fitness Pilates. So just starting, feet grounded, hip width apart, and we just want to breathe into the in through the nose and out through the mouth. So we're just going to lift the arms on in breath, stretching the head up, and breathing out, taking the arms down. So in breath, lifting up, and out breath, and then we're going to lean across, stretch, long fingertips, and stretching out the neck. So nice and long with the fingers. And from there, we're just going to do our roller down. So you can stand to the back of your mat, take a deep breath in, and as we breathe out, just going to roll it down. Nice and slow, hang, and just nice breathing. Legs can be bent, taking a big deep breath in through the nose, sinking down on your out breath, and nice and slowly on your next out breath, roll up, drawing the tummy up, nice and slow. Once we get flat back, roll the shoulders back, in breath forward, and out breath back. In breath forward, and out breath back. And then again, take a deep breath in, and as we breathe out, roll down, nice and slow. And then from there, you're going to walk out into your plank, drawing the belly button up, pushing up through the shoulder blades, tummy extra tight. Make sure if it's too difficult to bring your knees down onto the mat, or if you have wrist issues, come down onto your elbows. From here, we're just going to twist up on in breath, nice and high, hold, keep your arms just level, shoulders above one another, just fingertips reaching up, and then nice and slowly come back down, and on in breath, lifting up, holding, and then bring it back down, and then knees to the floor, sit back into trial pose, allow your bottom to come down onto your heels, stretching out the fingertips, couple of breaths. I'm just going to get my music back on, in breath through the nose, out breath through the mouth. And from there, just going to come up onto the knees. So, hip width apart with your knees, hands forward, and then we're going to sink back. So big deep breath in through the nose. Be sure to tuck your bottom under, come back with your flat back, pushing out with the hips, and in breath coming back up. So out breath, we're going to lean back, in breath back up. And then we're going to hold back, push your hips forward, legs should be tingling. If it's too much, come up and come back in. If it's not hard enough, sink back lower. And nice and slowly bring it up. So you're going to just take it into a little stretch, leg back, straighten up your back leg, lift the chest, push down. Want to push down to get a stretch onto your hip, and then for balance, take your outer hand in slightly to centre, bend your back leg, hook your hand around if you can, and draw your heel into bottom. Lift the chest so you push down through the hip. Keep breathing, keep drawing the heel in on your out breath, and nice and slowly let go, and then swap. Other leg comes back, straighten up your back leg, lift the chest, push down through your hip. And then we want to centre your outer hand, bend your back leg, hook around and draw in again on your out breath. And I should have said on the other side, if you do want to be a little bit adventurous, draw your foot in with two hands, balancing. And from there, take the hands and leg back down. Sit back into your child pose. Stretch your fingertips forward. Reach with the fingertips, draw the elbows into centre. And from there, we're going to come back, roll over onto your sit bones. So, leaning back, so arms forward, out breath, sink back with the chest lifted, hips up, and nice and slowly on your next out breath, roll down, nice and slow, bone by bone, coming down, even upper back coming down slow. Take it into a full stretch, toes and fingers, push the small of your back into the mat. And from here we're going to reach up and reach up to your toe. So on out breath, reach up, lift that leg, in breath, take it down. Out breath, lift, in breath, lower. Out breath, lift. So try and get the stomach to squeeze in as tight as possible as you lift up. And if you want to make this harder, come right up onto your sit bones on your up and roll back down. So always do the roll as you come back down. Come right up if you can and pause. Squeezing the tummy in extra tight. Out breath on the up, in breath on the down. Keep going. And stretch, stay down, push. Again, long fingers and toes, small of the back down into that mat. And from here, we're just going to bring the hands to push yourself up onto the elbows. Pushing yourself up onto the elbows, drawing the belly button down. Legs can squeeze down into the mat if you want the legs to be nice and active. And then from here, we're just going to, on out breath, reach one hand forward, then the other one, in breath, down and down. So out breath, and in. Breathe out, and in. You can have the legs bent if it's too difficult. And then we're going to try and hold. So we stay up, two hands, belly button down. If you need a rest, just come up, have a little rest, and then come back into it. Keep breathing, keep holding. Belly button squeezes down extra tight. If you're starting to shake, have a little rest. Lift that chin, keep holding. And from there we're going to come up, bend the legs, lift the chest, and then nice and slowly sink back, arch the back, drop the head down, and then in breath, lift, flatten your back, squeeze the shoulders back, and out breath, roll. And from here we're just going to take it back into a little C curl, rounded back, and if you can, take the legs to tabletop. If it's too difficult, just take the feet back onto the mat. Holding, chest up. If you want to take the legs up, take the legs up and hold. If it's too difficult, stay in bent legs. Try and turn like little pinky toes out. So you're facing down to the mat. Keeping the chest up, nice and tight. Abs squeezing. Give a little stretch, legs down. Chest up, squeeze back. And roll back on your out breath, neck down, so you get a stretch, head down. In breath, up and squeeze. And out breath, down. And then we're going to come on our sides. So just rolling over, resting your head, legs nice and long. So make sure you're on your hip bone. So you roll, if you take your hand away, you would roll forward. So we're just going to lift on out breath. So you're going to flex, point and lower. So it's out breath, and in, out, and in. And if you want to make a harder 2-leg lift, so we breathe out as we lift, legs back and up. Make sure the legs aren't coming forward. So breathing out on the lift. And if you want to make that a little bit more challenging, arm diagonally away and come up onto the elbow, nice and slow. Slow it right down. So you breathe out, you stretch towards your ankle, you breathe in, you come down. So you breathe out, breathe in, and we're going to stay up. You can go stay up and down if you prefer. We're going to pulse lift. Breathe out and in, out and in, out and in. Or you can just stay up and have a little rest. So we're going to come onto the elbow. We're going to take the leg behind, and then you want to lift the 2 hips up to the ceiling on your in breath. Arms up. So as you push up, you arch your back into like a little mini back bend, and then when you breathe out, you hover, come down. In breath, push up. Now this can be done full arm if you prefer, which is a little bit harder. So if you're full arm, you'll have a bigger little back bend going on. Breathing in, breathing out. Doesn't matter which way, as long as you're not holding your breath, guys. And then we're going to hold up, give the hips a push up to the ceiling, and then nice and slowly bring it down. Taking it to 90-90 legs. So it doesn't matter if your foot is tucked in or if it's forward, whatever you're comfortable. Swivel the hands round to the side and then push forward from your hip and lift the chest. So we want to be coming down, if you can, onto the elbows. You can stay up if you prefer, and then you can rest hand on hand and bring the head down. If this is not enough when you're sinking down on your out breath and you want to increase that, you can just move the hands back slightly and breathe through. In breath through the nose, out breath through the mouth. Allow the body to come down nice and heavy. And from there we're going to push up and swivel around onto the other side, onto elbow plank, onto your headrest, as I should say. So the legs are long, hip is down, so you would roll if you took your hands away, and then on out breath we're going to lift, flex 1 point, and in breath down. So out breath, and in. Breathe out, and 2 legs if you prefer. So you can lift, legs are back and up. Get right into the waist, lifting. So we breathe out and we squeeze. Breathe in, we come down. And if you want to take that onto the elbow, arm diagonally away, lifting up on out breath, and in breath down. Try and make it a smooth lift and a lower. So breathe out and in, out through the mouth. And if you want to stay up and pulse lift, stay up, or you can stay with your up and down, lifting, breathing. Don't hold your breath. Make sure those legs are back, you're on, rolling forward on the hip, and rest. Bring it up, bring those legs to 90-90, bring the hands round, lift the chest and then squeeze forward. So you lean into it to stretch the hip and out the thigh, coming down onto the elbows. And if you want to make that A little bit more of a stretch, come right down, hand on hand. Allow your body to come down nice and slowly, easing into your stretch. And you can take the arms back, as I said, if you want to make that a bigger stretch. Breathing. Nice and slow. And then we're going to just push up. I'm going to roll over onto our tummy. So we're going to just put one fist on top of the other, chin inside that space, and then we're just going to do gluteal bracing, which is tightening up of your butt cheek. So an out breath, you want to lift one leg, push the hip into the mat, and then in breath, take that leg down. So out breath, lift, in breath, lower. So really try and squeeze the glute muscle and pushing your hip down at the same time. So the hip is pushing down to the mat, the legs are lifting. So out breath and in, out breath. And we're going to just add one arm, so opposite arm and leg if you want to make it harder. And then we swap. So breathe out, breathe in. If you don't want to add the arm, just stay with the legs. So lifting nice and high, you want to feel this into the lower back. Breathing out and breathing in, breathing out. Just have a little rest. Rest your hands on the top, rest your head side on, whichever side is comfortable. Legs slightly wider, and then rock from hip to hip, loosening up the lower back. And then we'll take it into bent legs, knees a bit wider, and then do your windscreen wipers. Allow the legs to swish from side to side, coming as low. The hip will lift off the floor as you drop from side to side. And from there, we're going to come back, legs hip width apart, fist on top of each other, chin in that little space. And you can either go back to single legs or you can do double legs. So we're going to breathe out and breathe in. Breathe out and breathe in. So we're tightening up your glutes here. Breathing out and in and out and in. So we're going to take the arms forward as if you're doing like a little breaststroke. If you think of when you come back, you're coming out of the water, so we would be in breath. So we're going to dig the elbows back like in a circular movement, and in breath as if you're coming under the water. Out breath and in. Out breath and in. So only lift as high as is comfortable, but the squeeze back of the elbows. In breath we lengthen. Out breath we squeeze. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. And then just rest the head back and just swivel side to side from hip to hip. Bending the legs, knees a bit wider, and again back to your windscreen wipers. And from here we're just going to come up onto elbow plank. So you want to come up on the elbows directly underneath your shoulders, and then we want to turn the toes down and lift into your plank. If this is too difficult, knees to floor. Other than that, you just stay in your plank position, tight abs. And if you want to make this harder, ride forward to toes, back through heels, push forward onto toes and back through heels, push. So we're just pushing forward and back, keeping the bottom down, tummy up, hold center. Extra tight, push up through the shoulder blades, keep squeezing, knees to floor if it's too hard, and then come down, and then just pretend to draw the elbows back towards your waist as if you're pulling the mat back. Shoulders, squeeze them back to centre. Head is lifted. Try and relax your glutes. Just draw back, keep breathing. And from there, we're just going to push back to child pose. So push up, sit back onto the heels. And just have the hands rested this time. So hands either to the side or back, palms up at the feet. And try and sink down. So you're allowing your chest to expand. You feel the chest on the legs as you breathe in through the nose. And breathing out, getting heavy. Breathing in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And then we're just going to put a tiny bit of pressure onto the head. So we're going to turn from temple to temple. So on an out breath, I want you to roll the head on the mat to the left. And in breath back to centre. Out breath, roll the head to the right. In breath back. So you will be moving even side to side with the feet. This is good to release tension in the head. And just nice and slowly, slight pressure that just feels good. Out breath, roll. Try and concentrate on your breathing. So you're focusing, you're breathing out nice and slow through the mouth and in through the nose. And then just stay centre. And really relax, nice and heavy. And from there, we're just going to come back up nice and slow, roll back round to sitting. And we're just going to draw the belly button down. Do a roll down and back up nice and slow. So we'll take the bent legs to begin with. Take a big deep breath in, roll the hips up and roll all the way down. And your out breath, try and get as slow as you can go now and stretch above your head. In breath, come back up to the up and flatten the back up to ceiling. Out breath, we take it back down. If you want to have straight legs, take the legs out straight. In breath, we come up and flatten that back. Out breath, we roll back down. This time, when you come up, on your in breath, fold forward. On your out breath, so we fold forward, allowing the back to roll down, the head to hang. Feel it right down the back of the neck and your spine. Hands can be wherever comfortable. They can be on the floor, be on the legs. If you want to push your sit bones back one by one, it allows you to lift your chest. You're trying to get the chest lower towards the legs. Head still hangs. And then we're going to come up. Roll back down, so take a deep breath in, flatten that back, then roll the back on your out breath and roll down nice and slow until you're back down onto the mat. Have your stretch. So we're going to just bend the legs and bring the hand on hand underneath your back. So we want the hands underneath that little arched space. And then on out breath, in breath, we want to lift the chest, create a space between the hands and your back. Out breath, pressure down with the back, forcing the hands down into the mat. In breath, try and lift nice and high, arch the spine. Out breath, push. In breath, lift. and out breath, squeeze. And one more time, lift. And breathing out, squeezing down. And then we're going to take that into our bridge. So we want the hands at the side of the body, and then on your out breath, I want you to roll up. So lifting the bottom, nice and slow, start with the hips, into roll, so some mobility one, lifting nice and slow, hips up, and then on in breath, we want to start upper back, slowly bringing upper back, middle, bottom, and hips down last. So just lifting nice and slow, roll the hips, lift up, and then we're going to hold up. So you want to breathe naturally when you level hips, when it close to squeeze, extra tight. And then if you wish to add on, we're going to lift one leg out, nice and straight, point your toes. And then on out breath, you can draw the knee in, or you can stay with extended leg out. You can also stay with both legs on the mat if you prefer. So breathing out, we're drawing the knee into chest, and breathing in, taking that leg out. Make sure your hips stay level, you're not dropping down the hips. Out breath, squeezing in, take that leg down, change legs, leg out, and breathe out, bring the knee in, breathe in, extend, out breath, and in, breathing out, and in, keep squeezing, tummy extra tight, hips up, last one, bring the legs down, roll down nice and slow, draw the knees into chest and give a squeeze, extra tight squeeze, and then just rock from side to side, from one side of the sacrum to the other, and then mini circles. So you want to roll whichever way you go one way all the way around, getting pressure onto each part of that lower back, and then change sides and go the opposite way, rolling. And then we're going to draw one knee into chest and extend the other leg, extra tight, changing sides, opposite knee in, the other leg nice and long. And from there we're going to just hands underneath your knees and just roll up till the toes tap the floor and roll back. So we're just getting a little bit of pressure onto the spine. So rolling, and then we're going to stay up. I'm going to take underneath the shins and hold these legs. So from here, we're going to try and take the legs up. So we're going to take the legs up and have the legs up and arms long. If it's too difficult, stay in your bent legs. So we'll take it into a V with the toes together and the knees out. And we breathe in, we stretch up, and breathe out, and keep trying. So we breathe out and in. So we're into V and into extended legs, chest up. If it's too much, just take the hands back on the mat behind you and just do the legs, tightening up the stomach as the legs come out. So you can just do without the hands if it's too much. And then we're going to hold up with those legs out, chest up. Draw the belly button in, lift your chest, nice and high. And then we're going to take the legs in together and press out and out breath. In breath and out. In breath and out, hold out. Couple of seconds holding out. And then let's bring the knees in, roll back, nice and slow, hug in the knees. Take the feet to the mat arms out, airplane arms. Drop your knees to one side and press if you wish to add on a little bit bigger stretch to push down. Knees can come up towards your shoulder to make it a bigger stretch. And then we're going to take it to the outer part of your leg, IT band stretch. Take your toe and take it down. If you don't want to do that stretch, just stay with the double legs. Try and keep both shoulders on the mat. Try and look away from the leg. Couple of breaths. Bring your knees on top, bring them back up. Out breath, drop the knees the other way, press. Knees can shimmy up a little bit if you want to make it a bigger stretch towards your shoulder. Keep pushing. If you wish to add on IT band, take the leg up and then take that toe down to the floor or towards the floor. Breathe through it. Couple more breaths. Legs back. Bring the knees back up. Hug in, nice and tight. And then just bring yourself up. Hands under the knees or over and bring yourself up. Cross your legs to the front. Sit comfortably. On your out breath, push the arms out. Drop your head down. And just keep reaching on your out breath. Arms behind and out breath, lift nice and high, keep the chest stretching, opening up the front of the shoulders, and then neck stretch, head over to one side towards your shoulder, push down on out breath, fingers or palm into the mat. If you want to add on, hands on, just gentle fingertips drawing the head over on your out breath. If it's too much, use the hand, change it. Head over, out breath, push down. In breath, we hold. Fingertips on, and tease the head over. And then arms back, opposite hand on your knee, other hand behind. Lift on in breath, out breath, look back over your shoulder. Changing sides. In breath, lift. Out breath, twist. Coming back to the front. Big in breath through the nose and out breath through the mouth. Lift nice and high, flat back and out breath. Last one, breathe in. Hands back to heart, and thank you very much. Thank you, hope you enjoyed that. Any comments, please put them up and I'll get back to you at the end. Bye.